Okay, so first things first is the qualifying loop. What you're going to end up doing, probably should have showed this first, is that you'll start at the regular Hammertown starting place. What you'll notice on the JtmwTV King of the Hammers version is the regular loop, but it actually goes out into the desert here. This kind of it's not an exact copy of what the Ultra 4 loop is, but it's closer. So we've got this, it goes out into the desert. We've got a nice little uphill section here, a nice little rock section to run through, and then you'll come to your first fork in the road. For every single lap, laps 1, 2, and 3, you will go ahead and you'll do that portion of it, because everything will feed you back into the short course. If you want to do qualifying, you'll see that this nice left turn here has a clock icon on it. So you'll take the left at the first fork for qualifying, and it'll loop you around here. Let's see if I can get a reasonable speed going. It'll loop you around here, kick you back up into an immediate left. You'll go up through the rock trails, through the, we'll call it the Burnside Arch, and back down into the short course. And that's qualifying, is basically from the starting place over there and back. So the real difference here is you go through there, and for qualifying you take a left, and then for the first lap you're going to follow all of these signs here. Now these are all pretty much, you know, just standard signs. There's nothing special about them. So you'll come out, you'll take a right for lap 1, and I'm going to go through this really quickly because we're actually going to run the whole race course. And if you see here, just a standard sign, and you keep kind of following that. For lap 2, the way that we'll know to take a turn for lap 2 is that this big 2 on this rock, you go out of the short course through the desert normal, you find this 2 on the rock, you take that turn right there, and then just like normal, you'll come through the rocks and you'll follow the signs. Here you go. Now on the final lap, I'm not going to show it right now, but on the final lap, you will follow the checkered flags and take the left here into back door and whatnot. So it's pretty simple. All of the markers for lap 3 have a checkered flag in front of them, and the rest of the markers are normal. The only thing that signifies the difference between lap 1 and 2 is on lap 2 you'll take a left turn at the 2 rock. Right off the rip, lap number 1. I really debated on making this turn right here not as severe. You really have to drive it, and I feel like every time I come through here, I wreck right there. I ended up leaving it alone though. And let it be known too, definitely not going for like the world speed record here. This is more along the lines just to show everybody how the course works. If you want detailed instructions, there will be a link to our Discord in the YouTube video description. If you're not in our Discord already, feel free to reach out to someone in chat. They'll get you an invite for it. And there is detailed written, hey, thanks. I appreciate the sub, Alicon. Thank you, man. There's detailed descriptions for how to navigate the map and whatnot, so I appreciate it. Also, Alicon, I really appreciate the sub. That was unexpected, man. It's awesome. Now is a good time to mention that if you're on Twitch, if you're watching on Twitch, and you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub every month, and all it does is it costs you nothing. Amazon gives it to you for free, and you hook up your account to your Twitch account, and then you can give me a free sub. Just it's more incentive to make more content and all that kind of fun stuff. But again, kind of a low-key night, so I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks again, Alicon. Now, if you notice for lap 1, I took a right at that fork right there, and that is just to get us out into the initial desert loop. And I am a terrible multitasker. You should ask my wife, because talking and driving ends up with a lot of situations like that where I come to an actual complete stop. and we'll be doing plenty of resets tonight because of stuff like this. Oh man, Kane gifting more subs. Oh, Kane gifted the sub. Brother, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Sorry, like I said, I've got my windows, my monitors in a different spot now, and they definitely need to be rearranged. They're like a little too far away. So seeing chat is kind of hard with the new setup. But for lap number 1, it's mostly desert, so we're going to just go ahead and go straight out in the desert tonight. I was able to reuse a lot of the existing Johnson Valley map, but there is some custom stuff in here as well, which, not a ton, but it's really just about making use of what's here. They did an awesome job with this map. But if you see also, all that I'm doing is I'm just following the gigantic road signs. And in some places I even increased the size of them so that it's harder to miss, and put these nice barricades and whatnot in here too. Now, something I think that's worth noting is if you see on this like real soft sand, dude, it might as well be ice because I just slide completely all over the place. And once it goes back to that general dirt, like right here, there's a shift, and you see like instantly I've got traction back. I don't know about that, but here's remote pit 1, good place to get a reset in if you need to do that, and we're back out to the desert. I would never have been very interested in like the desert racing stuff, particularly the trophy truck stuff, until this map came out. Because if you can't tell, I am an absolute expert at it. So it's been a lot of fun to actually learn how to drive in the desert, and particularly drive some of the two-wheel drive vehicles too. But still on lap 1, this is a change from if any of the guys who beta tested for me. This is a new part of the map that has not been released yet. Is we actually do end up hitting some rock trails on lap 1. And the devs did a good job of not making these trails like super easy by any means. So if I go silent, it's because I'm actually having to concentrate. And if I keep talking, I'm going to end up doing terrible. And what should be a 20-minute video will go easily to like an hour. We're just going to do that for the sake of it. Like I said, we're not setting the land speed record here by any means. I do want to see if I can get people to start posting some times. I had thought about, we're going to take a right here, can't tell. I had thought about making this a scenario and being able to just straight up time it, but I mean, you really, like, you have to have some resets for this map. You'll see as we keep going, like, this is not easy, so I think a scenario with no resets, or a reset that would force you to restart the entire thing, I think it's just, personally, I think it's too punishing. I don't think it's fun. I mean, I've reset like 3 or 4 times, and one of those times my car blew up. And if you don't have the version of my map, you can almost run this, but there is, like I said, there's some custom trails that are just connectors. They're important for sure, but, you know, my map is free. It's in our Discord. All you have to do is go download it. There's a link below. It's very, very easy. Alright, so this is actually feeding us almost back into Hammertown. right into the, I forget what it's called, what kind of arch we called it. But I think whenever we do decide to race this, I don't think it'll be a very serious thing. I think it'll be more of a for funsy thing. And I might not even race it. I might just commentate on it because I think it'll take everybody a while. Straight back into short course. So lap number 1 is almost done. All right. I think so too. My main concern is that, like earlier, when I wasn't really pushing the car too hard, and this particular car, it has a like node, or maybe even like a J-beam problem, where the gas tank will just randomly kind of catch on fire if you get hung up. It's like really part of that, but I mean that could just be part of using this car too. So I get both sides of that coin. But we are headed out for lap number 2. You're going to see some rock trails for sure, and it's going to be a little bit slower pace, but there's also quite a bit of desert on lap number 2 as well. And again, like I said, this map is free. It's currently available in our Discord. All you have to do is go download it. The only thing that I ask, if you create content, just put like a link to the Discord in the description of the video or whatever you're going to do with it. Either that or just, give me credit. Yeah, just don't repost it, but it's free. I have been super blessed by the community, and I'm really, really happy to always give back however I can. And I'm not worried about, if I had a Patreon, a couple bucks here and there is great, but I don't want to do a Patreon because it makes me have an obligation to provide something, and I want to do this for fun. This is my most fun thing. I think the biggest obligation that I feel when it comes to streaming is to make sure that I settle my debt, which, Kane, if you're still watching, don't let me forget to add one, because I actually have a for funsy stream kind of lined up maybe for this weekend, and where we can it's going to be just chatting. We're going to play some games maybe, but I'm probably just going to come in and hang out with you guys, talk about 2023. I've got a new challenge that I would actually like to start with all of you. So my community, everybody, everything, it's like a health and fitness thing. I have another streamer who would like to get involved with this. I'm really excited about it because, life is hard, life is complicated. You're not always your best, and I think that people do their best work when they have a community to do it with. So we're out for lap 2. Everything's been the same in terms of going out for lap 1 and 2. Now the difference for lap 2, so I'm going to take a left at this big rock that has a 2 on it. They made these little areas, just this area in particular, it's kind of brutal, especially if you've got a long nose car. But after we take that left at the rock right there, everything is the same. You're just going to not do that. Just pop it right up there and follow the signs. Let me catch up with chat here. Papa Bull, the mod could be out, could just be a mod. It looks like it is the same as the Bomber old mod. Oh yeah, this one is an old mod, for sure. And it's partially unfinished as well. I need to catch up with the guy who made it and see if he is interested in maybe getting paid to finish this out. He's actually a part of our Discord. Reset the car. I think my steering is kind of yoinked there. I love this car. This is the CB UFO. It's really, really great. So if you can't tell, this is the beginning of the rocks for lap 2. Nothing too complicated just yet. We'll get there, don't worry. But smooth and easy is what wins the race through these. It is pretty cool having the Discord community, because there's actually quite a few folks who race actual Ultra 4, who race actual King of Hammers, and or King of the Hammers, sorry. I'll tell you a funny story about that in a second. And have them give me feedback on the race course. It's been really cool. But if you guys don't know, which I would assume that most of you do not know me or like my show from the days when it was a podcast, and I had a guy, like, I don't know where I got it stuck in my head, but I somehow got it stuck in my head, like I just instantly I called King of the Hammers King of Hammers, and I know that's not right, obviously, but it was just short, quick, it was KOH, right? King of Hammers. And it was something I continually kind of made the error on. Now, I will say this, if you're watching the YouTube, I did not take that left right there because it has the checkered flag. I'm going to keep going straight here. And I had this one guy who every single podcast, I would bring up the hammers. KOH is a big deal, so I talk about it all the time. And he would send me like an angry DM every time, be like, it's not King of Hammers, it's King of the Hammers. And I eventually just started saying it just to make him mad, because he probably sent me 7, 8 DMs like back to back to back. I could just pretty much always count on it. So I love the community. And what's really funny, and it's always going to be this way, is that the haters, the hate watchers are your best supporters, because dude, they always watch your stuff. I have people even now who like, they might even be watching now, right? It's like I'll jump into a Discord room or a Discord call to catch up with everybody, and I'll leave, and someone will say, oh, okay, the streamer's here, or the streamer left, or whatever. Ooh, the streamer. And I'm like, dude, I do this to have fun, and really what it is, they're hate watchers, because they see my content, they watch my content, whether they're watching it because they like it, or whether they're watching it for another reason, that's to be decided. But dude, the haters give you some of the best publicity possible. And that guy, I could always count on it. Always reached out to me, always was like, hey man, you're saying this wrong. I can always count on it. But you know what? I knew that he listened to every single episode. Also, again, cannot drive and talk at the same time. Alright, this might get blocked out because I feel like this is kind of a cheater line, if I can actually make it through here, but the harder line is just, maybe should just take the hard line. There we go. The harder line is just in that little valley right there, so this eventually might get blocked out, but just for the demo purposes, we'll skip the hard line so I don't look like I don't completely know how to drive. I'll just let you guys assume that kind of don't know how to drive. But we are about halfway through lap 2 right now. If you can't tell, hey, look, there he goes, on fire again. If you can't tell, a lot more rocks in lap 2. A little bit of desert coming up too. Now, I have driven a lot of cars through these trails. The only reason I use this one, because I think it has a pretty large con with it, is that it does so well with the little chattery rocks. that I can move pretty quickly through here. But man, just the front end lift like nobody's business. Now, granted, that might be one of the reasons why it does so well in the desert, is pretty much every bit of the weight is in the back, but man, this car, when it comes to an incline, you'll see it on lap 3. It is not a happy camper. We're almost back to the desert to wrap up lap 2. We're getting there. I know that the rock trails, like when it comes to engaging content, going through the rock trails at 8, 9, 10 miles an hour is not the most fun stuff to watch for sure. I could be wrong too though. But I appreciate you guys sticking around. How was everybody's New Year? Is this my first stream back since the New Year? Because I've been trying pretty much since New Year's Eve to get a stream going. I enjoy streaming so much, and I think my favorite streams that I've done, like in recent, like the past month or so, have been like just chatting with you guys. All right, so we're back to the desert. Our signs tell us to take a right here, and we're gonna go ahead and loop all the way back around. It's pretty simple. Follow the signs. If you guys, I know I was talking that entire time, but just follow the signs. No big deal. ZBD says went to Blue Holler for New Year's bounty. Had a few too many trail sodas and passed out by 8. Man, I made it to midnight pretty easy actually. I think it was a pretty early night for us on New Year's. It's kind of nice. But I did go out for my birthday last night. I went out with my wife and a bunch of our friends. I'll be honest with you guys. I woke up this morning. Like, do you guys ever heard of the meat sweats? Like, you eat too much meat, you start sweating. Well, the same thing happens to me. Like after I've been drinking, is I'll wake up like pouring sweat and like mildly in a panic. And yeah, dude, woke up like that this morning. Felt pretty good. Went and got the kids. Had a headache all day. It's great. I mean, what better day could you ask for? And it was like 30 degrees and rainy all day. Also, but do you guys go out regularly? Are you guys like if you're going out like on the town, you guys go to like bars or hang out or anything like that? I'm really curious because I personally that's not normally my jam, but we went out last night to like a new bar that opened up and watched the Titans game. And then I think I'm going the right way, y'all. Okay, yeah, there it is. And went out, watched the Titans game, and then we went to another spot. Man, guys, I felt old going to like a college bar. Just felt so disconnected from the people that were there. And like, I never was real big into like partying or anything like that, but man, I was like, I feel like I'm 50 years old. It was terrible. And I went home, I left at like 11:30. So I could go home and go to sleep. Now this turn right here is a little sneaky because it really cuts around here. I really like this desert section up here though. See, we're back in that silty, soft sand. for what this car doesn't have in the rocks, it has it right here. And it is insane. Remember, we still got a whole nother lap to go. Man, I don't know about you guys. I have been keeping up with the recent YouTube changes that like a bunch of channels are getting demonetized for profanity, because YouTube has a new profanity like licensing, not licensing, but like a new profanity, I don't even know what it's called, like a terms of service thing. Basically, you know, the unspoken rule for all this time was, you know, in the first 15 seconds of your video, you don't use profanity and it will get, you know, it won't get downgraded in the suggestion search, right? And the way that they can tell if you say something is they have an auto-generated subtitle system that while your video is processing, it will, you know, subtitles get generated for your video. So if somebody turns them on, you know, you don't have to do it yourself. So originally, you know, you would kind of get thrown out of the suggested videos, but now with the new terms of service, your video gets demonetized completely if you use a variety of words, and it does not seem to be limited to the first 15 seconds anymore. So even if you flag your video as not made for kids, like all of my content is not made for kids, it just doesn't matter anymore, and people are kind of being like indiscriminately demonetized. I mean, entire channels. Like, it's really interesting to see. Okay, lap number 2 is done. We're gonna go out for lap number 3. This is the really rock heavy lap. So I'm curious to see kind of how this one all pans out. Again, not a professional driver. I'm to be honest with you, I'm consistently towards the bottom of all of our races as well. I consider myself a much better commentator than I ever am racer, for sure. I really like this qualifying loop. I got a guy right now who has a 2-minute qualifying loop. That's unfortunate. This is probably going to turn into a bigger issue. Yeah, there it goes. A 2-minute qualifying loop. So if you guys end up getting the map and you can beat it, post it in our Discord, so that way we can all see who really has the fastest qualifier. And if you're cleared to race in our Discord, then come race with us. Come get your name on the live stream. Come show everyone how good you are, because it will not be me. I'll say it like that, for sure. I think that my like video I made for the qualifying loop was like I had 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I was not pushing it. I'll say that. So there's probably a little bit of time to be gained around there. I'm really excited, guys, to talk to you about the RC stuff. I thought about skipping the Beam stuff completely and just doing RC stuff tonight, but I really wanted to get this out. It's not like terribly complicated, but I just want everyone to have a clear reference on how to navigate the race course, because it's awesome. Okay, third lap, you take a left here at the checkered flags, and all of the signs from this point on should have a checkered flag next to them. Should. Doesn't mean they will, but they should. And this is, without a doubt, the hardest lap of all three, for sure. This is where you're going to lose the race, especially if you're in the lead. I mean, well, if you're not like a rock person, this is where you'll lose the race for sure. My problem is I sit too close to my monitor when I'm trying to get in the mic, and I like go cross-eyed from looking at this too much. Alright, here is the upgraded 2.0 back door. Okay, now I'll show you something real quick, just for the sake of it. There probably needs to be another rock added, because it's just a little out of reach. Okay, it's just big enough to get your tires up there. Could you do it? Yeah, probably. I think someone who's a good driver could definitely get up back door right there. The current strategy, which I'm gonna try and show you guys, is to kind of like wall ride this right here, and it kind of throws you around. So let's see if I can get this done. Like that right there. Damn, it was so close. There it is, right there. That's how we do backdoor here. Master Flex. All right, let's take a second here. Papa Bull says, I wish I could join the races, but I need to get a gaming desktop so I can run BeamNG. Dude, heard, 100%. Master Flex is back, and Zach wants to know, Master Flex, did you win bowling? Glad to have you back, buddy. Master Flex won the year-end finals for the bouncer race and walked away with 75 bucks hard cold cash. All right, there we go. Also, you can see that your trophy is still in my house, so I need to send you your trophy as well. But like I said, we're going to take a left there at the checkered flag. We're going to try not to mess this up too bad. This is going to be the lap where my poor driving is really going to show. I'll just go ahead and out myself that way. Now, this upcoming desert section is rough, too. I did come through here and smooth it out a little bit, but I'll be honest, I was just looking at chat and not driving. But it is a little rough through there for sure. And I still have, there's plenty of floating bushes and floating rocks and all kinds of other fun stuff too. There's some floating rocks right there. Okay, so this is where we start going into the really hard rock trails. Man, I'm just getting tires chewed up right now. As you can see, checkered flags everywhere. Now, I'm also not showing you the best lines. It's not because I'm keeping any kind of secret. It is because sometimes I do not go where I want to go, and the car just has to drive itself. Okay, so this is actually where we crossed earlier. And now we're gonna come come right across, and we're gonna go up this line. Now, I did this the other day, and it took me an embarrassing amount of time. So I'm gonna try not to like goof around right here, like I'm doing right now. All right, let's see if I can get this wrapped up pretty quick. That'll work. Not bad. That is a 3-star trail, which is the hardest kind of trails the game has. Now, I did make one custom trail, which I'll show here at the end of it. I made 2, but the one that's really hard, I'll show you guys. It's not in the race course. It's just a rock crawling trail. The rock crawling trail I made is not in the version of the map that I released. Oh no, that's fine. We'll just take it as a W and move on. Slow and steady will win this race though, because it is rough. I can't imagine having no resets. You'd be limping for sure. Masterflex says, bowling has not been very good since I fell off my bike. Masterflex also said I'm gonna struggle in the desert. I don't know, dude. The desert's not too bad with the right car. And there's so much time to be made up in the desert, but you can lose that time right here in the rocks. See, like right here, I'm like, but I do really like how I've got this car set up. And it's doing a little better than I thought it would through here. All right, so we're gonna keep coming back down here. Now, we've been through this section before on lap 2, but we are gonna take an alternative route. And we are gonna hit I would say this is probably the hardest part of the race course coming up. That's not the hardest part, but that would be one of those moments where you guys are watching me on stream and it's just embarrassing, and I'm embarrassed and I'm streaming it. Man, how long has this taken me? How long have we been live for? 47 minutes. How embarrassing. I know I talked for a little bit at the beginning, but my God, I don't think it was that much. All right, so we're gonna take a left right here. So, hey YouTube, we're gonna do something a little different because I can't get through this one part. All right, so you go up this piece right here. You go through the super gnarly boulder section, and then you go up this climb right here. I'm gonna save us a lot of time on stream, okay? And we're off. That notification sound was me, not you. That's crazy. That might be the fastest I've ever driven through there. I think what we're gonna do is for the race, we'll probably do 30-second intervals, 2 off at a time, kind of like they do with Real King of the Hammers. I'm gonna probably tell everyone to run it with collisions off, and you know, it's kind of like the honor system. Like if somebody's blocking your way, don't just immediately drive through them. Yeah, I am on the right spot. Don't immediately drive through them, but you know, if they're sitting there just being me on the rocks, yeah, you can get you get them out of the way. Nobody needs to be stuck behind me for too long. Like that. That's fine. It's embarrassing. Masterflex says, what do you think the most capable car will be? I was on the UFO on 33 and made it through there. I think probably the UFO is probably the best car. Now I made a big, my top 10 favorite buggies, but I think that the UFO is one of the strongest cars in the game in terms of durability, and it's the most like balanced. It really does. It does better than this machine in the rocks, and it does almost as good in the desert. So take with that what you will. We're just gonna truck on down here. Now if you see here, we have been down this before. This is how we came out of the rock trails on lap 2. We are not going to go the same way back that we did on lap 2. We're gonna take a shortcut. And I don't believe that I have the markers in here just yet, but I will have them in the updated version of the file. If you're watching this like after January 2023, it's likely that the version of the file that's available will have the markers, so you won't have to worry about this. But on lap 2, we came out of here and we took a right, and on lap 3, we're going to come out of here and we're going to take a left. And we're just going to follow it back to Hammertown to cross the finish line. Not too bad. And we're almost back to what would be the qualifying course. Now I might smooth this section out because this section right here just pisses me off. It's so slow. You have to drive it slow, or else, imagine making it through like the entire thing with no resets and like screwing it up right there at those like little bunny hops. That would piss me off. We are at the Burnside Arch. Ready to rip. And there you go. 2023 King of the Hammers loop. There she is. All right. If you're still sticking around watching, thanks for hanging out with that. That was cool. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube, like the video, all that kind of fun stuff, and we'll see you next time.